NASCAR Racing 2003 season must be considered one of the greatest racing simulators of all time. In the 17 years since its release, a fantastic community has kept it alive and has learned many things about Papyrus's masterpiece. I wanted to use this video to share some interesting facts about NR 2003 that I know that you may not know. Okay, I mean, if you're a 17-year veteran of the sim, then you probably know them all, but let me know in the comments section if there's anything new that you learned from this video, or if you have any additional input about the facts that I share. So let's go ahead and get into it. Facts about NR 2003 that you might not know. Number 1. Maximum number of series and tracks. The modding of NR 2003 has kept this great racing simulator alive for so many years, but there is a limit to how many series and tracks you can have active on one installation of NR 2003. You can only have a maximum of 16 series and 128 tracks at one time. If you attempt to go over this number, they simply won't appear inside of the game. The best way to get around this limit is to keep an archive folder on your desktop with series and tracks that you're not currently using. This way you're able to switch out whatever series and tracks you would like to use whenever you're ready to use them. Number 2. The H key brings up a menu of keyboard shortcuts. Simply enough, pressing H while driving will bring up a list of keyboard shortcuts that are usable while you're racing. Did you know that NR 2003 is a telltale tachometer? It was even used in the Cup Series at the time? This is just another amazing level of detail that, of course, Papyrus chose to include. Number 3. You can drive on the sides of walls. In the cases where you can get sideways on a wall, you're able to overcome gravity and drive on the sides of walls. In some cases, you can just drive on the air itself. It would seem that Papyrus never really intended you to be able to take flight in this simulator, as the gravity just doesn't work quite right. Number 4. It is possible to have 47 drivers in one race. Normally, the maximum number of drivers in a race is 43, 42 AI drivers and one player. However, it is actually possible to raise this limit to 47 total drivers. As long as a track has enough pit stalls to accommodate the extra drivers, you are able to edit the track's .ini file to allow more than 43 racers. Once inside of NR 2003, you must start the race weekend, let the entries list fully load, and then exit the race weekend and immediately start another one. Once the entries load, you will notice red names on the list. These are the extra drivers. You must then advance to the race session, save, exit, and then reload the race weekend once again, and then start the race. If you've done this correctly, you'll have a race with more than 43 cars on the track at once. Number 5. Car ratings have no effect on the player car. This is something that has been rumored throughout time on NR 2003, with many people confirming and denying it. On my channel, I decided to do an investigation into this to confirm on video once and for all that car ratings have no effect on the player. I'm going to include a little clip from that video so you can see for yourself. As you can see, we've got the 100 car rating results on the left, the 0 car rating results on the right. We excluded the first lap because it was just the out lap, so we're just taking the 10 flying laps into the calculation here. The average for the 100 car rating was a 1 minute 40 and 57 thousandths with 9 thousandths tacked on there at the end. And the average for the 0 car rating was a 1 minute 40 and 66 thousandths with 2 thousandths there on the end. So the difference between the two on average was 8 thousandths of a second, or 83 10,000ths of a second. And this is over a 10 lap run on a 7-mile long track. Number 6. There are only 4 officially supported physics types. Whenever you download a mod for NR 2003, the car files for the mod will usually come with one of 4 extensions: .cup, .gns, .cts or .pta. .cup is what it sounds like, is the NASCAR Cup Physics. .gns is the Grand National Xfinity Series. .cts would be the Craftsman Trucks, and .pta is for sports cars, Indy cars, anything with 6 gears. These are the only 4 officially supported physics types and are used by pretty much every major mod. Any 2 cars that are running on the same type of physics will drive exactly the same, assuming that you are using the same track and conditions when driving them. Number 7. Commands can be used to throw cautions and to add or remove laps. By assigning auto chat commands, you are able to throw cautions during a race and add or remove laps from the player only. For example, if you want to throw a caution, change one of the auto chat messages to !yellow and then a $sign and press the assign button during the race, and that'll bring out a yellow flag. You have to make sure that cautions are ticked on as available to be thrown during the race for this command to work. And this command can be used to trigger competition cautions or even as a workaround to have yellow flags as the end of a stage. You can also add or remove laps from the player character only. This can be used to simulate a lucky dog or even give a penalty lap to the player. Unfortunately, there's no known way to use this with the AI, so you cannot use it to have a fully functioning lucky dog. Number 8. The maximum number of laps. Through editing of a tracks.ini file, you can make a race however many laps you want it to be. However, NR2003 has a limit of 512 scored laps, after which nothing is scored, so you can drive around the track as much as you want, but you will forever be stuck in the hell of the 512th lap. Number 9. You can avoid black flags by driving in reverse. NR 2003 includes black flags for many infractions, such as passing on the inside before the start-finish line, speeding in the pits, and not restarting in the correct position. However, you can avoid all of these penalties by simply driving in reverse. It seems that NR 2003 is unable to penalize you in these conditions, so it's a very unusual way you can avoid penalties.
Green flag, green flag, green, green, green. Limit's 35. Keep it under 2,000 in seconds. Watch that speed now. Keep it on 2,000 in seconds. Okay, you're clear of pit lane.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Just a few facts over time that I've gathered with NR 2003. Some that I'm sure all of you know very well, but I hope there's at least one for each video where you'll learn something new. Go ahead and let me know what you thought in the comments. If there's any other fun or interesting facts you know about NR 2003, definitely leave them in the comments and maybe I'll do a follow-up on this video in the future. Really appreciate you for watching. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for me. I'll see you in the next race.